My wife wants to evict my daughter. I want to kick her out instead.
Get her out of here.
My daughter, Anna, is 16 years old. She was an accident when I was 24. Anna's mother and I were never together as a couple because it was a one-night stand, but we have maintained a friendly and healthy co-parenting relationship since she was born, and we became good friends. By the way, this comes from Tyler1620 on the Best of Positive Updates subreddit. Ooh, positive. Okay.
Love positive update.
My daughter has been living on another continent for a few years with her mother and stepfather, but she wants to come back because she doesn't feel comfortable there and misses her family and friends. Anna doesn't know their language well, and it's still hard for her to learn it fully, so she feels really lonely since it is different to speak your native language than make friends by speaking a foreign language from zero.
Absolutely. In fact, already hard enough. You're already getting, bullied eating your lunch in the the bathroom.
Yeah, imagine not being able to say anything back when they're like, oh, like, is your refrigerator running in, like, I don't know, whatever foreign language.
You're just like, 9.
Oh, well, actually, that would have worked well if it was.
That's
if
true.
It was Germany, a little less.
But
well
then
if
she
it was
wouldn't
like
get
Norway.
the other stuff they said.
Yeah. Although, you know what helps? This is totally not a prescription. Drinking alcohol helps speak any language very well, but this person's 16, so I can't really recommend that.
Can't condone it.
Can't recommend
at all.
that. Yeah. In like a couple of years, maybe.
Yeah.
I spoke with my daughter's mother, and we thought it was a good idea to let Anna live with me. Her room is now my home office, but I can easily put together a room for her again. We didn't confirm anything, talked to my wife about it first, and I was sure that she was going to be okay with that because we literally talked about that possibility before. On the agenda, it was there. It was in front of their faces.
Come on.
Problem is, my wife doesn't want that to happen.
Change your mind.
My wife and Anna, daughter, have never been close because they only meet in person for our wedding when I was able to pay a ticket for my daughter to come. That was the last time I saw my daughter in person too. Plane tickets are too expensive, but they do tend to talk a little when I make calls with Anna every day, but not too much. Anna is the daughter. She's 16.
Yes.
Again, Anna is the 16-year-old daughter.
Yep.
That is the product of a one-night stand. She's living in another country, but wants to come back and live with OP, which might be a little bit easier for her because she speaks OP's language a little more easily.
Don't need to eat lunch in the bathroom.
Don't need to eat lunch in the bathroom. Did you ever eat lunch in the bathroom?
No.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad. Yeah.
Did you?
Why do you say it like that?
Because you were like, I feel like if you hadn't, you would have been like, oh yeah, me too. We were able to make it out without that.
No, I don't think so. I think I ate lunch with the weirdest kids for sure.
That's way better than the bathroom.
It's way better than the bathroom.
You have friends.
Yeah. I had friends. I had the weirdest friends. Which
Let's go.
I think they were
great.
cool. Yeah, it was great. So Anna also talks to her brother, and he likes her a lot, even if they see each other on video call. My wife says Anna is not going to feel comfortable in a house with strangers. And OP's kind of just saying like, wait, this isn't a house with strangers. She's seen them at least on FaceTime.
She's like, stranger to me? Sorry, bro.
And I told her that we are literally her family, and she said no. She and our toddler are not Anna's family. So OP's significant other and toddler, because they barely know her in person. It honestly hurts me that she thinks that way, but I understand her point of view. Although our toddler is Anna's brother, and it really annoyed me that she said that because our little one really loves his sister, even if they just see each other online. So I feel like the biological mother is it's like she's okay with this co-parenting from afar relationship, but as soon as her daughter is thinking about getting close to OP, she's like, no, can't have that happen.
She was pulling a bluff.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'll tell him, oh, I'm so about it to, get in the door. We'll have the kid and everything. And now she's like, oh, well, now that I'm here, now I can.
Yeah.
Whoop,
Exactly. Well, she has all the power. She literally was able to bring her daughter to another country and raise her, I think probably, like you said, under the pretense that they would both have equal say in her life. But I think she's kind of knows that she has power. She's like a dictator that gets power and says like, I'm going to give it back to the people. But then he feels the power and is like, oh, like
Let me just keep it.
I kind of like being king.
Let me just keep it. And again, this is a conspiracy theory, but I do at this point think that she had this kind of plan all along, that she never really was okay with it. She just said it when it wasn't an imminent threat.
Exactly. Yeah. She's pulling some Emperor Palpatine games, dude.
Don't like it.
Don't like it. Don't
Strike
like it one bit. Don't like it one bit. Yeah. Power, unlimited power. I just rewatched those films. Those cinema masterpieces are
movies
great.
I have seen.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So I had an argument with my wife about it, and I ended up telling her that my daughter will always come first because it's true. For me, my children will always come before any other person, and she knew very well about my daughter when we married. This is talking about OP significant other.
Mm-hmm.
His wife. My wife got angry and said that bringing Anna home would change how we handle ourselves and that she doesn't want to be a stepmother. She said that Anna lived with her mother in another continent and it's not the same as having her right here every day. I told her that no one is asking her to be a stepmother because I will be the one who will take care of her always. My daughter used to stay many days and even months with me, and I was the one that took care of her. I'm not going to give my wife all the work because I was a single father for a long time, and I know how to take care of my daughter. I work, I clean, I cook, I take full care of her son when she works and wants to go out and do something just like she does with me. We both support each other in raising our son. I don't know why many people are so shocked by the fact that I take responsibility over my own child.
Unbelievable. Be a deadbeat.
But if she doesn't respect my daughter's presence in the house and hates it that much, then she has all the freedom to go to a hotel room.
Get out of here. Go check in.
I was a big because those words obviously ended up with us having a worse argument. So I guess OP said that directly, which is not the most, not the best.
What if he's like, hey, look, I just want you to have a 5-star spa experience. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Listen, you're stressed about my daughter moving in. Don't take a load off.
Also, Shanna Lawson says, I think birth mom is okay with it. And it's actually stepmom.
Yeah, the stepmom.
That's not going to be okay with it.
Yeah, she's the one that it seemed like pulled a little bait and switch where she was like, hey, it was fine at first, but now she's like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
right?
The problem is my wife doesn't want that to happen.
The stepmom.
I was thinking that it was OP's biological.
Right.
The daughter's biological mom.
Right.
So, TLDR for myself and everyone here. So, OP has a daughter, Anna, who lives in another continent. The biological mom is like, hey, I think she wants to come over to where you are because she's lonely, can't really speak the language as well. The daughter wants to come too. And OP's wife is like, nah, we have our own setup here. And it's kind of like, I don't want your daughter here. Okay. So, I think we're at 100%.
Boom.
Thank y'all. So, my daughter has every right to live in my house if she wants to, but my wife doesn't want that. I really love my wife, but my biggest focus is to give the best to my children. And I would love to have my princess here after years apart. I mean, who wouldn't want to be with their daughter after years apart? My wife has not been talking to me at all, and she's very angry. But she does continue with the same stance that she doesn't want Anna here at all. And I know I will get angry and we will end up arguing again because I'm not going to leave my daughter alone either. There's an edit before we get into these big updates. So, edit. My wife always knew that Anna lived with me several days a week when she was still in the country because I talked with her about that and the possibility of Anna's family returning to the country if things went wrong. That would have meant that Anna would come back and live with me for many days or even months like she always did. My daughter used to come at my house every day too. My wife agreed that years ago when we talked about that, but now admits that she thought my daughter was going to stay out of the country with her mother because their business is going really well.
Boom. Called it. Called it.
Also, throwaway because my daughter uses Reddit too. I changed some data as to not make it too obvious. There is an edit too before we get into the update. So guys, I've been reading the comments nonstop for 2 hours and I have too much to think about. Thank you so much for the advice. Whether bad or good, this is helping me to reflect on several things that I did not take into account, but please don't be harsh because I'm a real person. There are relevant comments. There is an update.
There is
an update. But what it sounds like your wife hates your daughter, or at least doesn't want, she believes that she would be living this uncomplicated life where it's just our family and we don't have to think about anyone outside of it. And now that you've thrown in the daughter element, she's up in a huff. I don't think that's fair to OP. I don't think that's fair to Anna. And if you sign up to this relationship, like you knew what could happen. So I don't think I think like I see divorce in the future.
Yeah, it's also doubly crazy because they already have a toddler. So it's like it would almost make more logical sense if they had like no kids and she's like, oh, actually, I want to stay child free. And I get that a teenager is different than like a 2-year-old, but
if she said that at the beginning of the relationship, they probably wouldn't have gotten into a relationship. But she never said like, I want to stay child free, or like, I only want to have children in my life that are ours.
Yeah.
Like she didn't say any of that. So like,
yeah, I think it is the worst case scenario here would be not that she dislikes children. She already has one with OP, but I think that she specifically either like dislikes Anna as a person or dislikes the fact that she's like the daughter he had with like another woman or something along those lines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which like all of those are bad. And I think it is one of those because she admitted that she was like, oh, I just kind of assumed that she would end up staying there. Again, like I think she intentionally reeled him in to be able to, and just hoped that she wouldn't have to face this.
Yeah, I think it potentially was a reel in, but we're even looking at it through the most angel-like lens. what it could be is she was fine with it, but then she has this perfect little life that's like really great.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden this new factor comes in that she was not expecting. And she's like, how is this going to change our relationship dynamic? Is our son going to be prioritized if this new person's in the house? There's all these fears that's swirling up with now in a completely new familial dynamic. I still think she's the a-hole, to be clear. Sophia Callan, I want to agree with you there. I still think she's the a-hole, but I think there is a chance that this is just like a gut reaction of someone who is scared by how things might change. And if talked about long enough and if just introduced to like, hey, like you're going to have to deal with it and just introduced to it, I think she might adapt. But you also don't want your 16-year-old daughter to have to endure what a stepmother adaptation looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to prioritize your kid.
Yes.
So whatever is going to be best for your kid. And I guess we'll see what OP does. But what would you recommend OP would do?
I think that he basically don't phrase it as an ultimatum, but it kind of is, where it's like, hey, we had this like understanding going into our marriage and life together that like, my kids are, number one priority, just like our son is to me, like
our son Riley,
our little boy. So if you can't get like 1,000% on board with that, then I don't think this is going to work. You have to make it crystal clear.
Yeah. I mean, but do you think she's just going to stay because of she might stay for the relationship, but like maybe there's a negative effect on.
Yeah, I think she'll do the same thing. She'll be like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like, that sounds great. And then she's like, hey, listen up, you little freaking punk. You see, I'm the big mama around here. And you lock yourself in your little cupboard, under the stairs. Yeah. And you just be friends with the spiders.
Yep. Be friends with the spiders. I'll give you a little pan and a broom. You can sweep the chimneys. It's going
to be so fun.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. You can dress me up. I've always wanted a butler.
Shut up. I hate you. Hate you, mama. Get out of here. That's what I think.
But we got some relevant comments.
Oh.
And we got an update. My little children, my little pretties. Let's get into these relevant comments. So, the discussion with his wife. We had it because she knows that my daughter used to stay in my home before she left. So this is relevant comments that OP is responding to, by the way. So OP says, we had the discussion because she knows that my daughter used to stay in my home before she left the country. My wife says that in her mind, my daughter was always going to live with her mother, to another commenter. She didn't say that when we got married. She said it now. When I told her about that possibility years ago, she said she thought she was okay with it. Now she admits that she thought Anna would stay there. And then another commenter says, if she doesn't change her mind, do you see the marriage lasting? And I feel like no, but OP says, to be honest, not at all. Even if I love my wife, my daughter no longer feels welcome in her school or comfortable. I don't want her to feel that way here too, in my own home. And a commenter says, what are you going to do about the child that you guys share? OP responds, my son would never be homeless.
Listen, 2 years old, that's time to go. Time to figure it out, son.
That's true. You've had 730 days.
Millions of seconds.
Yeah.
How do you not figure it out in millions of seconds?
Come on. Get a grip, kid. Get a grip. Back in my day, or back in John's day, they were going to the coal mines by 2.
That was me, dude.
That was John, dude.
Ching,
he went straight from the coal mines to Silicon Valley.
Yeah, that was me.
You basically were doing child labor.
Silicon Valley. I was mining the silicon,
and then you brought the chips to the people of the Bay,
and that's how we got here.
Yeah, that's how Qualcomm started.
Built it 100 years ago.
Yep. Shout out to John. Where's John? Is 300 in the chat? That's
there we go.
That's our daddy right there.
Let's go.
So Opie says, my son would never be homeless. Being okay with my wife would be an ideal plan. But if she continues to reject my daughter's presence when we break up, I'm going to make sure I pay her and our son a good place to stay and go 50-50 custody like I had with Anna, or make some kind of cohabitation agreement. Whenever I hear the word cohabitation, I always think of like Martians and aliens. It just feels very sciencey and rocket shippy. I'm going to do the same thing with my son that I did with my daughter, which was go see her every day and take care of her. I wouldn't fight with my wife or stress our son out with the grown-up stuff. And commenter says, not picking sides here, but if your wife leaves, so does your son. Everyone is screaming, put your child first. You may have your daughter full-time and your son 50-50. Doubt they would take a toddler away from a woman you say is a wonderful mother. I think the rock and the hard place is a lot harder than you think. So I think what this commenter is saying is, by prioritizing your daughter, you are deprioritizing your son.
Get one kid, lose the other.
Yeah.
right?
Well, basically, because it's like your wife is like, okay, I'm only going to be okay with this familial dynamic if you reject one of your children. And if he rejects one of his children, there is a better chance that his other child, his boy, has a better life with like maybe a more complete holistic familial dynamic or whatever, or at least like more. Yeah. The Duchess Cassandra says this commenter kind of sucks. Yes, it sucks, but there's an element to that
There's
is
a moral
true.
dilemma here.
There is an element to that where it's like there is like you're kind of picking between two things. I think the thing that makes it easier, and the commenter does not point this out, is like what is the actual right thing to do? What is in line with your morals and like your morality? And it would be to take care of your daughter, right? Because just because someone else's actions impact your child doesn't mean you should sway away from doing the right thing, because usually doing the right thing will lead to cascading benefits for everyone around you, including your children.
Plus, it seems like the better of the two options, because one option just kind of like completely abandons the daughter, Anna, so to speak, where it's like, okay, she has to stay in this place that she hates, versus like, okay, well, still, hey, Anna grew up with split custody her whole 16 years.
Yeah.
So this
and
baby
sounds great.
And it sounds great. So it's like, all right, the baby will kind of do the same. And OP's like, want to put everything in place. I'll split custody. I'll make sure they have a good place to stay. He's making sure that the baby has like the best possible life. So to me, seems like the best option.
Yeah, I agree that it is the best option, but I do think the commenter, although in a dickish way, points out like
there is a dilemma here.
This is difficult. This is not an easy decision by any means, because it comes with a lot of baggage or emotional baggage, even though intellectually we might be able to pontificate right here and say like, this is exactly what OP should do. But
I'll pontificate.
Yeah, dude, I love when you do that. I love when you do that, dude. When you just when I'm double cheeked up on a Sunday afternoon in a thick milk costume, like please squeeze those.
Move that onesie out of the way, dude. Get it out of here.
Get
Lift
straight
it up
to the udder.
Oh my.
So OP responds, yes, I've been thinking about that too. Co-parenting with Anna's mother has always been really easy because we've always been good friends and there was never a fight. But I don't want to think that if I divorce my wife or we break up because of this, I'll have a harder time seeing my son, or how the co-parenting would be with her. So yeah, I guess OP is saying like, yeah, it could be harder, but I don't want to think about it. Let it like co-parenting with the mother of my son, my current wife, you know?
Yeah. Good to think about it.
Good to think. Yeah.
Literally where you're headed.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, John's
Let me just ignore the future.
Idiot.
And just, oh, here we go. This is going to be successful, guys. Oh, it's going to work out so well.
Dude, man is throwing away the cane. These commenters are giving this man a cane, and it's like, shut up, dude.
Guys.
I don't want more information. I want to blindly walk through life.
Oh, this is fantastic. Stop it.
Yeah, dude.
Stop it.
You're going to walk yourself off a cliff.
Don't do it, Daddy. Don't do it.
Josephine Madolo Berquist says that those cow jokes are utterly ridiculous, yet very amusing.
All right, double pun. Nice. All right. I'll give it to you for a double pun.
All right.
I'll give it to you.
Josephine.
There we go.
Okay, and commenter responds, unless there's something you aren't disclosing about Anna, your wife is of questionable character. I think that's very obvious. For not allowing your daughter to live with the family. She is part of the family whether your wife wants her to be or not. And OP responds, I swear there's nothing I hide about my daughter. She's a good girl and has never had problems with anyone. Even at the wedding, Anna and my wife got along. She was a child raised well by me as well as her mother and stepfather. And there is a downvoted commenter.
Ooh, wow, this is gonna be really bad then.
A downvoted commenter.
Was a downvoted.
And just to be clear, the guy that was like, you're between a rock and a hard place, that some of chat said was, I think they beautifully worded it, something like a massive.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Was not downvoted. So this
gotta be bad.
Yeah, this is gonna be juice. There's gonna be juice to squeeze. So you've already chosen your daughter as more important than your wife and son. Your marriage is over. And I'm gonna repeat that again.
Yeah, please.
You've already chosen your daughter as more important than your wife and son. So basically this commenter is saying, OP, you are disregarding your son's well-being.
Bro clearly didn't read the whole thing when he's like, I'm gonna get the best, like have him a good living situation, 50-50 custody. Like he's already thought through this. Dude, this is ignorant.
Yeah, this is some ig-ish, bro. Ignorant shish.
That's correct.
Kimberly Fine says, what's the wife? The commenter. And Fräulein Fledermaus says, bruh.
That's honestly Kimberly Fine. Yeah, was that the wife?
Yeah, dude.
She found the Reddit account.
I mean,
It tracks.
things like this have happened. Stranger things.
Could be a crazy update we're about to see.
Stranger things. But we do have OP responding and says, you've commented on this stupidity twice and not only reflecting your own trauma, you are also taking things for granted that you have no idea about. You literally jump on a conclusion that I don't love my son just because I spoke well of my daughter. And we got an update 12 days later. But, if I was to give one piece of advice to OP,
Please.
is don't compromise. I think whenever you compromise your moral integrity for a short-term outcome, whether it be the benefit of one of your children or, money or status or whatever it might be, like even things like friendship, things that you think might be like a purely good thing, usually it has lagging negative effects. So it's might be good in the beginning and then terrible later. And I think this is an example of if you prioritize your son and looked over your wife's moral ambiguity, to say it lightly, you would probably have lagging indicators or lagging negative effects years or decades later. And so you don't want to stay with someone who has no scruples. You want the scruples to be high.
You want those
max
scruples all the way up there.
You want
dude.
You want at least 100 scruples.
When your hands are just on the scruples, you're like, dude,
yeah.
this is
When you have scruple, and then maybe you're milking each scruple,
yep.
and then you're filling your cup with some scrupulous liquid. Dude. You drink it, you're full of scruples,
and then it's good.
Then it's good. Then it's good. That's some
good
some
marriage
scruple
juice
stuff
right there.
Good marriage juice. Jellyba says, honestly, life has lagging, aggravating effects.
Can't argue.
But usually, if you live life in a moral way, less lagging negative effects.
Agreed.
I don't know why I'm talking like a science boy today, or I don't know.
Question.
Yeah,
I feel like it's your inner philosopher coming out. Yeah, in a beautiful way.
I had my Junto not too long ago.
There you go.
It was
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that is.
I didn't tell you about that.
No.
I do monthly philosophical chats.
Aha.
With some of my
Yes.
philosophy friends.
It's all coming back.
Yeah, we actually had a great discussion about anyway.
Back to the story.
I had a great discussion about this next freaking update.
Whoa.
Let's go. D-Red says you need big scruple energy. Dude, big scruple energy feels like it could be put on a shirt.
Love it. BSE.
Big scruple energy. So update 1, 12 days later. Originally posted on the Am I the A-hole subreddit. So I'm sorry, but I decided to delete the post because a weirdo started to just spam my private messages with different accounts. And I don't know if I can put the account on private or something like that. I don't use this site too much, but a bot started sending me messages asking if I needed help. So I think my account could get banned because of that person doing this. I'm too old for this. Anyway, let's get into it. So first of all, I want to clarify that I am from a third world country. Here, it is really expensive to get a plane ticket. And if I travel, I must do it with my wife and our son too. So it was too much money that we can not pay. So basically, it's too much money to travel out of his third world country.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're called developing nations these days, but I'll use the old term.
There we go.
Third world. I let my daughter's mother take her to another country because, like every father, I wanted her to have a better life and better opportunities. I don't think that makes me a bad father, but I guess the minds that have always lived in privilege don't understand. The last time I could afford some tickets was for my daughter to come to the wedding. Not all of us have the privilege of paying for a plane flight. I've been thinking a lot, and in fact, I'm the a-hole because of the way I treated my wife.
Do tell.
Whoa. I did not see that coming.
Neither did I.
I did not see that coming. I was feeling we were going, we were focusing on the scruples.
Yep.
We were focused on the scruples.
Lost it.
I feel like
lose grip.
I feel like the scruples have been thrown out the window with that sentence.
Slipped through my fingers. But hey, let's hear him out.
That's true.
See what he got to say.
That's true. Okay. Maybe we can dig through the sand, pick up those scruples, squeeze it out,
Squeeze them.
Even if most of the commenters agreed with me, I don't think it was ever right to say that to the woman I love, even though I was angry.
That's fair.
Fair. All right.
Bad wording.
Because he originally said, for everyone who's just joining, if you don't like this, go to a freaking hotel room, right?
Wrong way to say it.
Maybe he's just like, hey, this is where my scruples slip through my fingers, but I still got most of them. Most of my scruples are there.
Lying in the scruple sand.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a few droplets in the scruple sand, but most of it's in my hand.
Most of it's there.
In my scruple hand.
Yep.
But your scruples fell into the scruple sand and there's none in your hand.
Now
right? So I think we're about to talk to her scruples.
There we go.
In a little bit. So I apologized to her for what I said and the way I said it. But I told her that I don't like it when she ignores me and gives me the cold shoulder when I try to talk about our issues. And the fact that she denied the familiarity between our son and daughter was just cruel. All right? Speaking your truth, love it, OP.
It's true.
She apologized for it and said she was angry and said things she regretted. I made it clear to her that Anna is coming because no one can forbid any of my children to live with me. Not only morally, but legally, I am totally obligated to give my daughter and son a house.
Great.
Go off.
That's
Dude.
All I heard was good things.
Off.
All I heard was great things.
You know what I heard?
Hmm.
I heard the pouring and just absolute mound building of scruples.
Just so many
pouring
scruples.
into his hand. His hand is overflowing with scruples.
It's clear as day.
It's clear as
Bright
day.
as rain.
It's
pouring down.
It's scruples as high as the Pyramid of Giza.
That's right.
Yeah, those scruples, legendary.
Legendary.
So if he says, how many times can Sam say scruples?
That's what I'm
in the
asking myself,
last
actually.
3 minutes. I want a scruple counter in the Discord right now.
Run it up.
If you haven't joined the Discord, it's discord.gg/okstorytime.
Just hit 4K members.
Oh,
LFG.
sheesh. Let's go.
LFG.
Let's go. Pop.
Boom.
Boom. So she tried to argue, but I asked her how she would feel if we divorced and my new girlfriend refuses to let our son live with me just because she did not sign up for it. Doing a little twisty-roo. I asked her if she would appreciate a man who abandons his children for a woman more than a man who cares about his children. Yeah, that feels good.
Let's see it.
What
you got to say?
Yeah, dude. Maybe he has so many scruples that he's like spitting it into her hand.
Dude.
He's just speaking scruples.
We need more scruples.
We need more scruples.
There's truly not
we
enough.
need more scruples in this
so
world. Yeah, in a world full of little scruples.
We need big ones.
We need big ones.
We need big ones.
Big hawking scruples.
Sam 2024.
Just scruples dragging behind.
Drag them.
You know, you're walking in the sand and you just got two large scruples.
Prints.
Making
trails.
Just prints. Yeah, exactly. That's
all you need.
It's like, oh my God, like I can't believe there's this snake that's been slithering behind this very what's it called? Bow-legged man.
Nope.
But no, that's just two scruples.
Just the scruples.
Hanging between his legs.
Mm-hmm.
So also Peyton says, OMG, hi, John, I've missed your face too much. Thanks for the $2.
Appreciate you.
Peyton, we appreciate you. So if she would feel confident knowing that she is married to a man who abandons his children that easy. My wife said no. That obviously she knows how much I care about our children and hates the kind of man who abandons their kids, and that she knew she wanted to have a child with me because she saw how even though my daughter was so far away, I made video calls to her every day and we always help each other with things around the house. So then I asked her why she rejects the idea of my daughter being here, and she admitted being jealous of Anna.
Whack.
But at least truthful. Hey, we're
all right. I'll take progress.
We have been swimming away from lies and deceit.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a pool of scruples right now.
We were faced with a bald-faced lie. Now we're faced with a bald-faced truth.
Bald-faced truth.
I will take that. We can now we can talk.
Bald truth.
Now we can talk.
Now we can talk. Yeah, this is called dialogue, folks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think she's learning that she is she's learning she abandons her scruples.
Dude, it's tragic.
It's
so tragic.
But you know what?
What?
Don't call it a comeback story because I think she's. I don't know. Actually, maybe do call it a comeback story. I think the scruples might be. She's back.
She got coming in her back.
Grabbing those scruples. And I asked her. It's something that I have noticed in the past. For example, for one of my daughter's birthdays, I sent money to her mother to buy her a dress that was quite expensive. And my wife just said, I guess you will buy our son something just expensive. It was a mistake to let those comments pass, and I think they were just a weird joke. She said she doesn't want my daughter to come and take time away from our son. That bothered me, and I told her that if we had 2 children, my time would also be divided, and that as a father, I can give the same attention to both. And often, it's not good to shower a child with that much attention. Like they don't need your attention 24/7.
Especially a baby. What's a baby gonna do with a expensive dress?
Exactly.
Barf on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Crap on it.
Babies don't need attention or space. As we've talked about on the show, the baby cages of the 1930s. Just put a baby in a cage outside a window.
News
plenty of space.
To me.
You haven't heard about?
I've heard about
feel like you would love
giving
this
them blocks
incentive.
and stuff.
John, I hate babies.
I love
the
babies.
baby cages.
They're just ugly.
They're just ugly.
I never said I didn't like them.
Addie, if you have this ability, can you pull up the baby cages? You haven't seen this, right?
No.
Okay, can you pull up the 1930s baby cages of New York while I'm continuing reading this story? Appreciate you. So, changing our routine doesn't have to be a negative thing, and she knows that Anna is not a problem teenager, which I think some people in the chat were like, "Oh, like is Anna, a problem teenager, a bad kid, like addicted to jeweling or whatever the kids are doing these days? Because she's going to be a
2015,
dude. I know. I need
Shows
to
you're so not Gen Z.
Yeah. What are the kids? What are the kids
dude
using these days?
Boofing?
Flumin? Are they're boofing? They're boofing their nicotine right now?
Could be.
Are they boofing? No way they're
could
boofing.
be in, could be out. I don't know.
Dude. I mean, I guess it is more or less conspicuous.
Right.
To boof nicotine than to drink it. Yeah. I feel like
keep
you
it on the DL.
Yeah.
That's what the kids do.
Eddie, what do we got? We got some caged children. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that seems like terrible parenting.
I don't know. Fresh air for children.
I mean,
no longer afraid of heights.
Just let them. Oh, so you're in a cage on the outside.
Yeah. Wait,
so you're
pull
right.
it up, Eddie.
Exposed to the elements.
Can you pull that up?
Just
pull up the caged children. Give me a little switch to the caged children, please, Eddie, please. For the love of God, can I see the caged children?
It's on the way. But yeah, you're just exposed to the elements. You're just like.
Yeah, I feel like that's like solid air.
Solid air.
Live life, breathe air.
Walking around, can't do that.
Somehow, I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
And yep, there we go. Those are free babies. Those are some free looking babies.
Outside the window is crazy. What if that thing falls?
I mean, babies are like cats, right? They land on their feet.
If you say so.
Anyway, don't put your children in cages. And that's a PSA from
there we go.
Sam and John.
There he is. There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Pisces 420 says, LMAO, why is this the second stream? Sam has asked for the baby cages to be looked at. I just think it like
because he loves them.
I love him. I just feel like it was a interesting period of time.
I may think babies are ugly, but this man wants them caged. Do with that what you will.
No, I want them free to look over.
Free to feel the air.
Yeah, Kimberly Fine says raw dog in the atmosphere. That's what we love.
That's exactly what Riley would say.
Yeah.
Shout
out Riley. Rest
in
peace. So free range babies, says Falling Flaudermouse.
So
anyway, we talked a lot and I explained to her that I just want to make everything work for both of us. I apologize if I made her feel bad with the way I treated her. And I told her that I want to really hear what things are bothering her so we can understand each other better. We agreed to have better dialogue and communication about this kind of thing. My wife admitted that her jealousy is wrong, and feels embarrassed about it, but it's how she feels, and she feels awful for feeling like that. Good, feel bad.
True.
I mean, kind of true. You gotta grow up.
Yeah.
I told her that feeling isn't right. Being jealous of my daughter isn't right. And I told her that it would be okay to start going to a psychologist if we want to fix this, because I'm not going to leave my daughter to live in a place where she doesn't feel loved. My wife accepted after talking about it a lot these days, and she wants to work on herself about that because she doesn't want to feel like that about a little girl and knows it's wrong. Okay, that's good.
That is good.
I mean, this is progress.
I think the fact that she's, everyone. I mean,
everyone has
pretty
those
insanely
days.
egregious, but like, the fact that they're now being open and talking about it is very good. Now they can actually have like a honest open dialogue about it.
Yeah. Just like everyone has those days. Everyone makes mistakes.
Everybody does.
What I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
This next part of the story. So
let's do it.
My wife and daughter always had a nice treatment. When I make video calls with Anna, my wife usually takes a little time, but not that much. I think my mistake was not offering my wife to make video calls alone with Anna like Anna does with my toddler sometimes to like create that one-on-one relationship. My daughter really likes my wife and calls her auntie, even if they don't know each other too well. So I don't want her to know how my wife really feels about her. I offered my wife to teach her how to play the same video game I play with my daughter so they can play together and get to know each other more through that. And I know Anna would love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. How can they bond? How can we bring them?
How can you do like something that you like together? Because it's like also, dude, calling like I can't imagine one of these Gen Alpha kids like calling me as a grandparent, or not Gen Alpha. There's going to be like whatever Gen
Neutron
Beta or whatever. Yeah, Gen Neutron. When I'm like old and grandfatherly, they're not gonna like call me. I'm gonna have to like play Fortnite with them or like.
Well, you'll be able to like telepathically. You know what I mean?
They're like going like
the
metaverse or something. And I'll be like, oh, like Grandpa, like tell me about the yachts of your day, and and I'll be doing it in virtual world.
Yachts will be in the graveyard.
Yeah, I know. I can barely understand what kind of language is going to be coming out in the next year.
You don't know your goons from your skibbities.
I don't know my goons from my skibbities. True.
And they say I'm not young.
Yeah, dude. He's got it.
I'm with you.
He's compensating. I mean, sorry, he's keeping up.
Watch it.
They both have a lot of the same interests. She accepted it and said she loves me and wants to try it for me and for our toddler. If I leave my wife, I would be breaking my son's house. He's my baby too, and the last thing I want is letting adult matters affect him. I don't want to do that, and I love this woman. I want this to work, and I'm going to do my part for it, but the first moment she treats my daughter badly, I will end things with her, and I clarified that to her, and she was right with it and promised me to work on this. I still haven't confirmed anything to Anna's mother about the date on which our daughter can come, since I need to fix the room for her first, and I want my wife and little girl to get to know each other better. Talking about it with my psychologist, he told me that the best thing is always to get them closer little by little before Anna comes to live here. Yeah, make Anna feel comfortable.
Smart.
The video game idea is great.
Yeah.
Great. I love that idea.
It's perfect.
This last 4 days, my wife and Anna have been talking longer, and I told Anna that we could teach my wife to play with us. Great idea. Also, I feel like we're seeing a lot of great signs of navigating this moment. Well, I mean,
quite a comeback.
I don't know if y'all caught this, but he said, I've been talking to a psychologist.
It's true.
And I think that is a sign, you're seeking outside help and
Seeking
making
out help.
sure you're navigating this with poise.
That's right.
Yep.
Poise and prestige.
Poise and prestige.
Double P's.
Double P's.
Some would say a PP.
Some would say a PP.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, dude. That was one of our fishbowl words yesterday. And let me just say, I would like to say our friend group is somewhat smart. Everyone laughed at PP. PP is a timeless comedic stronghold.
From kindergarten to the grave. PP
From kindergarten to the grave.
stays a comedic stronghold.
PP will make me giggle, internally at least, as long as I live. And if you're sitting there and be like, oh my God, these guys are so immature. These, like, I can't believe they're laughing at PP. I've elevated beyond that. Like, when did your soul die?
Yeah, truly.
When did you leave Neverland? When did you leave the Lost Boys?
How is it burying your inner child?
How is it letting your Peter Pan sink beneath the 7 layers of hell? How about you get a little bit of that back and let PP bring a smile to your face.
Come on.
Yep.
Be a human.
Be here, be now, be with the PP. Anyway, Anna really feels comfortable talking with my wife, and they started talking about random things, which I feel like outside of, because I don't understand about the things they talk about. But I'm pretty glad to see that they actually have things to talk about. That's great. I suppose a lot of people are going to call me an not divorcing my wife, because that was what most of the comments told me. But it's not all that simple as, yeah, we argued, so let's get divorced and have 50-50 custody. I think I feel like Reddit's go-to advice is divorce.
Divorce.
And hey, you know what? We love a divorce chant.
We love a divorce chant.
I'm down to pick up a sign and scream divorce just as much as the next guy.
But you know what else we love, Sam?
What?
Healthy communication, getting to the root of the real issue.
That we do. I want to pick up that sign. I want to pick up the divorce sign first, but I hold a little restraint, and I think about it. I sit with my feelings, and I go to the other sign, which says, let's communicate.
Yes.
And I hold that one first. And then, no one's listening to that sign. Bam, I'm straight to the divorce. Yeah. I like a good time just as much as the next guy. Trust me. We're we like to say pee pee poo poo. We're no
stooges,
strongholds of scruples.
That's right. That's right. Got to bring that back.
Yeah, we got to bring that
enough
back.
earlier, guys.
No. We have them. We have
more
them.
Times.
But we won't let a little pee pee poo poo divorce chance ebb into there.
Absolutely
every
not.
once in a while, because
of course,
such is life.
Such is life.
You got to live a little bit.
That's right.
I personally think it's better for us to have spoken up like mature people instead of just getting divorced. What a novel concept.
Lame.
Yeah, dude. Come on. Live a little. Seeing that my wife has opened up to me and is trying to work things out, I prefer to give this a second chance and hope that she can see my daughter as her friend and even as her family if she allows it to herself. Your wife is going to treat your daughter badly. That's in quotes, by the way, for audio listeners. No one can read the future to say that, but I can work to make that future not happen. Freaking like the Terminator, like
nice.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Change
I will be back to save my daughter.
And my baby.
Where is Sarah Connor? I need to get my get to the chopper. Yeah, dude. I need to work on it.
I'm not even gonna try right now.
Dude, well, I feel like you're gonna
strain
your see, yeah, dude. I mean,
I'm keeping it. Yeah, guys.
He's keeping it dialed back. This is the chill stream. John has all the accents. I need to work on it.
We'll get you there.
Just imagine a perfect Arnold Schwarzenegger commentary. That's what I'm doing right now.
That was great.
Dude.
That was.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where that came from. Like, it's just like I just really feel like I channeled something.
It was beautiful. beautiful, honestly. Emmy.
I'm
EGOT.
blushing a little bit.
EGOT.
I'm blushing a little bit. You know, you shower me in too many compliments.
You deserve
the
more.
only thing I want to be showered more in compliments is scruples.
Oh,
but,
dude.
You know, like, hey,
Of
we can leave that
course.
for later.
Yeah.
I prefer to maintain a positive approach since my wife has never behaved badly with my daughter, and my daughter knows that if she feels uncomfortable, she knows she can talk about it with her mom, stepdad, or me, as we always teach her to talk to us about anything that makes her uncomfortable. Anna has a sharp tongue, so I doubt she'll stay quiet if my wife makes any comments that make her uncomfortable. Let's go.
Woo.
Yeah, I feel like that's important.
Important.
I'm not going to force them to be friends. I want them both to flow on their own. I'm also not going to use my daughter as a free babysitter. We don't want children parenting children.
I'll take it.
What's that called? There's a word. A nice
Child
little-
labor? That one?
I know you'll take child labor, John. John's been working in the mines again
You know?
since 2 years old.
Oh, I came up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he's coughing. He's got the black lung. It's finally
Exactly,
catching up with him.
Sorry, I was the canary in the coal
He
mine.
was the canary. He
They
was
just used
screaming
me,
at the top of his
a
lungs.
young boy.
Yeah, a young, fresh boy. He screamed at the top of his little lungs a couple times. And now he's paying the price for it today. Hey, but you know what? He's got a back that just won't quit. It's not easy being in the coal mines. There's a lot of back breaking work, but it didn't break his back.
Threw my back into
It
it.
was the lungs.
What
It was
can
the
I say?
lungs that really went out first. The back's strong. It's like corded back. Honestly, like Arnold. I think that's why John can hit the Arnold so well.
True.
If it wasn't for his lungs. Yeah.
How did we get here?
As many in the comments suggested as a supposed solution. Parentification, Kim Kwan. You guys, I appreciate you guys.
There we go.
Both she and her brother can live in this house as long as they want. Edit. On the previous post, several people said that my wife also made a post here, but it's false. She doesn't use this site. Begin Reddit trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
Interesting.
We won't let you.
Not today?
Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Pan Am today, Pan Am tomorrow, Pan Am forever. Sophia and I always do that whenever that comes up because of Hunger Games. Sorry, it's
Okay.
it's just
I remember now.
it's just brain rot word association. I feel like
Young adult brain rot.
yeah, dude, truly YA brain rot. But honestly, it's like the best kind of brain rot I would love
I'll
to
take
have.
it.
I feel like I grew up on YA brain rot.
Same.
Between like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, the Olympians, and Hunger Games. Like
good
I'm
stuff.
just ready for my dystopian future where I
It's-
get some kind of superpowers.
It's
Still
dude,
waiting.
I'm ready for the dystopian future where Opie and his wife finally bring it together and
And we're about to see what happens in this edit. So
let's go.
okay, so we got some relevant comments.
Let's go.
We're going to dive in. Commenter says, if your wife doesn't get over her jealousy, though, you're going to have to make a choice. Because like a lot of this is hinged on, is this frickin' going to work? Hopefully, since she took ownership of how awful what she said/did was, she'll become better. We could hope. Fingers crossed. And OP responds, yes, I have made it clear to my wife that my decision will always be to protect my children from any person or situation. So if her jealousy returns, there will be no third chance. 3 strikes. Or I guess 2 strikes.
It's fair.
2 strikes and you're out.
That's a fair policy.
Harder baseball. Who's that guy that's really good at baseball? Like,
Babe Ruth.
yep, we'll stick with that.
Knock
yeah.
him out of the park.
Yeah, dude.
Barry
Only fit for
Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
He had his pure game. No
Pure game.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, no juice. No juice. Yeah,
0.
You know, I want him back. Reinstate
Right.
Barry Bonds.
Bring him back. Bring him
yeah,
back.
yeah. It was a ruckus. A racket.
No juice.
No juice.
No juice. Cheers to you, Big Barry.
Yeah, Big Barry. Shout out to him. Do you plan on leaving your daughter alone with your wife? I feel like that's kind of important to do, honestly, to see if it works. And if your daughter has a sharp as tongue as you say she does, then I feel like you'll get that feedback pretty quickly. But OP responds, for now, they have video calls with me. If my daughter wants to have video calls only with my wife, then they can have a video call alone. My daughter is smart and has a sharp tongue. If she feels uncomfortable with anything my wife does, she will tell me or her mother or stepfather about it. That's great. Commenter says, I meant when she comes to stay with you, would you feel comfortable with leaving your wife alone with your daughter? OP responds, if my wife continues to improve her behavior and continues to be open to having a close relationship with my daughter, yes, the ideal is that, as I said in the post. That is precisely the reason why they are making video calls together.
Addie, can you see us? We're in the dock.
Oh, also development. Since you last came on stream, Addie's name is actually Eddie.
Wow. That is game-changing information.
Is that
Eddie,
not-
my sincerest apologies. Wow. Took us long enough. My God. L's in the chat for me, guys.
No, dude, I was
For all of us, I guess.
for all of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Put some respect on Eddie's name.
Yeah. I've been giving myself grace to say it the correct way because I'm definitely not at 100% Eddie yet.
I like it. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Shauna Lawson says, I know I'm a little behind, but I giggle at the word duty, and I'm 38, grew up in the Army dependent, and now I'm a Navy spouse. I hear the word, and I constantly giggle. Dude,
Congrats. You still have your inner child.
Yeah. And also, inner child to the max. I could not do the work you do in terms of Navy and Army stuff purely off of the word duty. Like I would not be able to get, I would not be able to get through that. I would be giggling too much.
There's duty everywhere.
There's duty everywhere. And, I wouldn't be able to do my push-ups.
Got to clean the poop deck.
Oh, dude, I'm done. I'm over. I'm keeled over.
Walk out right now.
Push me off the boat.
Get out of here.
Put me in the Mariana Trench. Yeah, swim to shore. Yeah, I'll try. I'll try my best. Walk the plank. Why don't they have planks anymore, dude? That was a fun time.
Yeah. Bring it back.
Bring it back. Bring back planks so that not only me, but also that they feel comfortable with each other when they live together. And commenter responds, just because she's doing okay video calls with your daughter and being nice to her doesn't mean she's going to do the same when your daughter's in the home, especially when she doesn't want her there. True, but you got to give a little bit of I feel like things are heading in the right direction.
Yeah, a lot of good work has been made.
A lot of good work. OP responds, and it doesn't mean she'll treat her badly either. Neither you nor I know the future, and we could assume all night about what will happen. I prefer to think of the best for all members of my family and trust that my wife wants to improve herself and others with professional help. Wife needs to know she can talk to you. If she's uncomfortable, this probably won't end well. That's a commenter. OP responds, my wife knows that she can talk to me about whatever she wants. As I said in the post, she has opened up to me about what she really thinks, and we've been having a sincere dialogue. All right. So from what it seems like, I feel like, we're heading in a pretty positive direction.
A lot of good work has been
done. A lot of great work, but I do understand that some of the comments feel skeptical of your wife's ability to change. She said she was jealous. She said she admitted to all of this stuff. So we now know that's true. And it's hard for people to change overnight. And also, you don't want to damage the self-esteem of a 16-year-old, right? Which a jealous stepmother could 100% easily do. But I do think we are setting ourselves up for success when taking into account the fact that we were initially not setting ourselves up for success and going straight into the orc cloud for this entire familial dynamic. But yeah, so I think we're coming back from the orc cloud, and I think we're maybe we're circling, we're orbiting Earth, but we're not in the atmosphere yet.
I must say, I'm very interested to see what the second update holds, because I think while they have done a lot of great work together, I wonder if it's too far. Like, hey, if you make it 90% up Mount Everest, amazing. But if you don't reach the summit, you don't reach the summit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like what you're saying is we're not looking for 90% completion on being not a stone cold B to your daughter. We're looking for 100%. We're looking top of Mount Everest. You see the line of people walking up. You see the trash and the frozen bodies up there. You are there.
Wow.
That is all true, by the way.
Yeah, I believe it.
Mount Everest is not the place it was in the 20s. The Sherpas are just taking you up there and dropping you off and basically doing all the work. And
dang.
Yeah, it's like Disneyland for rich people that want to seem adventurous on their Tinders.
Disgusting.
That being said, I feel like it's still kind of cool.
That being said, Sam's going there next year.
Yeah, that means I actually have very little desire to go to Everest. But
Everest aside, I don't know if she can come back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see the second update.
Again, Kimberly Fine says cautious optimism is a better wording, I guess. Cautious optimism.
Fair enough.
But we need 100% completion on
That's
this.
true. Complete it. Complete me.
We got an update. I didn't really think about updating again, but I remembered that I have this account, so I said, why not? Since I have a little free time at the moment while I take care of my toddler. My daughter and my wife's relationship is going very well. Let's frickin' go. They both make video calls to watch some series together that they both like. They have even started to have inside jokes that I don't understand, but I think that's something good. Although, to be honest, now I feel a little left out. Just joking, by the way. My wife has been going to the psychologist, and me too. I want both of us to get better together, to work on her insecurities and problems, because she knows that feeling jealous of my daughter is not good at all. And a few weeks ago, she talked to my daughter about her feelings towards her and apologized. Whoa.
Big step. Hard thing to admit.
Big step.
Yeah.
Big step. Wow.
I will admit she might be changing my mind.
I feel like, you're not at the peak yet, but you've reached base camp.
We're getting
You
there.
got your Sherpa.
Heaving and hoeing.
You're heaving and hoeing. You're like, I'm done with Everest.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. No, I should never be done. Everest is still in the mind. Still in the brain. Don't you worry. It's cold up there. So my daughter was quite surprised to learn that my wife felt this way, but accepted the apology and told her that she understands her. I left them talking alone that day, so they have privacy. And after that, they have had a closer bond. My wife said that my daughter told her that she will always respect someone who is sincere and wants to be a better person, just like I'm going to respect someone who can join us live on YouTube and Facebook every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just freaking tap her profile. We're probably live right now.
Do it. Come on. Join in.
And we have a little bit of update right here, but I feel like we're getting we're getting to a good place right here.
Like mere minutes ago, I was like, "Hey, great work," but I don't think I don't believe you'll get there. I now believe she can get there.
Yeah.
Won me over.
Yeah. I mean, we're at least like halfway there.
Maybe, yeah. There's still work to go, but I believe that she has the coordinates. I see her, her ice picking abilities. Like, she's got the whole package.
She's got the whole package.
Oxygen levels looking great.
Looking great. I mean, it's not like 100%. So, like, although halfway there, you might still be living on a prayer, but I think they'll make it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I swear.
I don't.
But there's another relevant update, and we'll get right into it. So in the previous post, many said that I decided to bring my daughter without talking about it with my wife before, but that's literally what I did. I never confirmed anything to the mother of my daughter until I spoke with my wife. I was never the partner of my daughter's mother, by the way. Many comments mentioned her as my ex-wife, but we were never anything. This is the one-night stand of his older daughter.
Baby mama.
The talk about bringing my daughter back was paused because I wanted them to know each other better before all living together. But my wife started to talk about how she wants to decorate the bedroom and rejected all my ideas because they're too boring for a girl. So she's having fun redecorating the room with our toddler, who's really happy to see his sister in person. We still haven't arranged a date because my daughter's mother has to talk with her high school about the problems there and everything, and I have to prepare everything here too, but all is going well.
Let's go.
And edit, there actually is a second update, but we got some commenters before we get into that second update. But Kimberly Fine says, big step. I don't like being proven wrong, but always down to accept it. With stepmom, W stepmom for saying the gross parts of herself out loud. Daughter deserves to know that she can acknowledge it to her face. There's a great quote from like an old-timey lawyer with impressive mutton chops. And he said something like, light sanitizes all things, or like basically like when you put things into the light of truth, darkness and the cloudiness erodes.
Beautiful.
Something like that. Eddie, can you pull up that guy, lawyer guy, American, that said something about putting truth into the light, like sanitizes something? That might be a ChatGPT question. If you all know it, let me know.
Let us know,
I'm
chat.
trying to think about it. So, how can you live somewhere where you can see a psychologist, but airfare is expensive? This is a question from OP. Yeah, sunlight. Lala says sunlight. Here, the OP responds, I received a notification. In my country, there is something called Obra Social, which gives me, my wife, and my kids free private health care, and therefore also we get a psychologist for free. WW. Flights are only $1,000 to Europe, which is still expensive, and you have the privilege of earning dollars and not having a totally devalued economy. I don't. Here, many people make less than $250 monthly. My daughter lives in another continent, not Europe. And OP has another update saying, I just wanted to have one last update before deleting my account.
Wow.
Kimberly Fine says Tony Busby. I think it might be that. Eddie, if you could find it, or if someone in chat could find it, I would love to hear that quote again. Before deleting the account, since I don't see the point of continuing to have it. My daughter has been living with us. Okay, so we're now with OP living with her daughter.
Wow.
Or we're now with OP living with his daughter, which means this is the true test.
The true test. I love it.
This is like going to the top of Mount Everest and seeing like, all right, can I take the wind?
Let's go. Can I breathe?
Can I breathe? Well, maybe a little oxygen, but like,
you can do it.
Let's see if you can do it.
Let's see if we can do it.
My daughter's been living with me for weeks now. My wife and she get along well. Her little brother adores her, and they can finally spend time together in person. He's really excited to have her home now. My wife has been working a lot on herself, and I have noticed how much she changed in a good way and how her relationship with my daughter is good. I noticed especially when we went to pick up my daughter at the airport, and my wife was very excited to see her. They've been watching movies together online for months. And I think, again, like this change could only happen because OP's wife said the bad parts, the ugly parts of herself out loud to the person that the ugly parts had feelings about.
Yep.
And again, I just want to give this quote by Tony Busby. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I am quite certain the sun is coming.
Damn.
Savage. Love it.
Whoever was doing it with the sun.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. But this is an idea of like,
Sunlight everywhere.
once you shed truth on something, usually things get better.
I love it.
So she is no longer jealous of my daughter. And although it is a process that takes time, I know that she is making an effort. My daughter has not started school here, so she will have to wait until next year. Anyway, we decided to bring her now since in a few months the tickets will be much more expensive. It was my wife who told me that she has already felt ready to spend time with her in person. I was really happy to hear her say that. I didn't expect her to already feel ready to tell me that. My daughter lived in a country in Asia, and although it was really beautiful and a safe country, it was very difficult for her to adapt. And their bullying is something very serious, which much more towards her who had so much difficulty with the language. Sometimes she obviously misses her mom, but they text a lot. I try to spend as much time as I can with her so that she doesn't miss her mother and stepfather too much. I also take her to see relatives, and she has met my wife's family as well. But in general, I know that she feels happy here, and she has told me she misses her grandparents, uncles, and cousins. The whole family is very happy that she is back here. And my wife and I are doing great.
Yay.
And I've also worked on myself by going to therapy. Now we talk a lot whenever something bothers us or we have some discontent. This is great.
This is great.
This is great. I feel like this is exactly how a negative situation should be navigated. You know,
This is the playbook of
this
how
is
to
the
navigate
playbook.
that.
This is the playbook.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
This is the map the Sherpa has as he's walking you Mount Everest.
Dude, hike that.
I think the key is that we can communicate even if they are dark thoughts. I know that she is a good person, and like everyone, she has dark thoughts, but she is a good person because she works on improving herself, and I'm doing that too. I love her, and I know she's a good mother who wouldn't treat my daughter badly. I like to take care of our children, take care of them, clean, and cook for them, although I find it hard to understand that my daughter now does all of that by herself, and I don't have to do it, but she is still small in my eyes, just like her brother. Anyway, I'm sorry if it's a boring update and everyone expected me to divorce my wife, but things are like this. Luckily, we are starting to solve our problems. They now have a relationship of friends, and I like if they are happy like that. I'm going to just read OP's response. My wife is not a villain who is hiding her evil plan. I prefer to trust what I see and know. My daughter feels comfortable and happy around my wife, and my wife feels the same. My daughter is not paying for anything. She is happy and knows that if something bothers her, she can talk about it to her mother, stepfather, or me. People change. I'm sorry you've never experienced to see that change. And that is where that story ends.
Wow.
A very happy note and really, you know, a great blueprint for what change can look like. You know, this wife was not in our greatest graces initially.
Not at all.
No. Scruples
Negative.
low. Scruples low.
0%.
Yeah, she was
Negative
on
1,000%.
loan on her scruples.
Mhm.
Negative in the accounts. But by the time the story ended, you know, like she had a good scruple portfolio.
This is the needle in the haystack, the diamond in the rough that kind of provides starting off at a horrible place, but using just communication and, you know, putting things out in the sunlight to just keep working at it until you either find out if they're really
Bad.
not a great person or if they really can, you know, pass the test and make it all the way. And dare I say it, she passed the test.
And you know what?
Dare I say it?
I think that's the whole point of having communication, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like we are human. We mess up.
That's right.
And, you know, the whole those without sin cast the first stone. No one's casting that first stone because
can't nobody do it.
can't nobody do it, right? But I think what stories like this prove is like when you have open and honest communication, you can get through things that people do that are wrong and come out stronger and better on the other side.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. It allows for us to grow with people when they make mistakes rather than just have a long line of people that we just cut off in our life. And like,
There you go.
if we do that, we're going to be super lonely.
There's only so many people.
There's only so many people. And let's just say not all of them are perfect.
Big facts. Could have said it better myself.
But that is where that episode ends. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.